Hello, welcome to Melanin and Albinoid Live. I am Lady Abimbola. Today is the second week. Today is Wednesday, the 18th. It's the second week. It's the second week for the national quarantine that is gradually becoming a global quarantine. And I'm going to the stores now to get some things. Actually, that's the only thing we're allowed to do right now. And as the normal thing I do, while I go to the shop, I go to do what I have to do. I also try to inform you about, what is happening. Basically, it's still the same old story. Everybody has been quarantined in the house. We are not allowed to move from state to state, even from zone to zone. It really depends. You're just meant to stay in your own zone. You can't move too much around. You can't move from state to state. You can't move from region to region. And I believe flights have also been banned, probably partially in and out of the country. Maybe probably postal plane and things like that are still allowed, probably, So anyway, the reaction to people here in the north, because in Italy we have the south, we have the north mentality, and the southern are more, though there's so many negatives there, they're also positive there, in the sense that they are more into family and things like that. So basically they are trying to keep themselves in a positive atmosphere by different reactions, singing in balconies, and just to try to make themselves to bring themselves out of this COVID-19 stress. Well, here in the north, people are scared stiff because they are used to, the source of strength of most of them is the clique they form in the bars and the restaurant, and showing off probably wealth they don't even have. So by being quarantined at home, some of these, probably will go into, the initial panic attack, that they can't get to mix around, go around. But anyway, I believe everybody's gradually adapting to the situation, apart from the fact that, even our workers have been so much stressed out, with work and everything. So maybe probably this is also a channel and an avenue for most people to really relax their spirit, their soul, their heart and mind. But anyway, as a person, as a Christian, generally I believe this COVID-19 will force the world to pray again. That is the ones that have not totally lost to Satan, because we have grades of human being right now. We have the ones, the book of Revelation actually reveals that they will be so much sold out to Satan. Everything they do, they believe they're doing, something positive for the world. They believe they're doing something positive for the world or whatever. But the truth of the matter is that everything they do is for the worship of the establishment of the Antichrist. So don't let's forget about the world we're living in. It's not just the fact that there is a virus in town. What is the purpose of the virus? Why has it been launched at a time like this? Well, if you're a Christian and you read your Bible, the book of Revelation actually explains about wars and rumors of wars and plagues and disease and all kind of things. And this is just the scripture, coming to reality. And just like in the days of Noah, God actually handpicked his own children, and he gave instruction on what to do. I build an ark, and in the ark, take care of yourself, your family, and anybody joins your family. instruction God gave to Noah, and Noah obeyed, and also the instruction to take every male and female of every animal. So Noah took male and female for reproduction purposes, I believe, and he took that and he entered the ark while God actually destroyed the world with plague. Well, I mean, it is not an hidden fact that the perversion, the lies, the satanic demonization of the world has become something beyond normality. I mean, the perversion, the heart of man has become really desperately wicked and totally deceptive, and that's why you see. You have, those of you that follow my blog, I campaign against the gang stalking program, the racist system, and the abuse of the human race. But in this sense, the reason I'm really going out for the COVID-19 situation is because it's an abuse on humanity. An intended abuse, a mistake that became out of control, that is still, left to comprehend, based on the history of the height of Satanism in the world and all kind of things they are practicing for the destruction of humanity. Well, so many viruses, so many diseases have actually been created in the past. So COVID-19 is absolutely, not a strange thing for them to do, because actually COVID-19 has been able to realize majority of their purpose. They want people to be disconnected from God. Well, the COVID-19 has actually placed a restriction on the whole of humanity, and the restriction is that we can't move around as we want. So therefore, the social there is division in the social setting now. There's been division before, mind control, and all those kind of things. But right now, there's physical division. Everybody is forced to separate, not to trust. There's mental, don't trust mentally before, but now physically, you cannot even trust anybody. You cannot shake your spouse, and let's assume even if you get married, you cannot even kiss your spouse. Just like this joke here, basically you're just meant to wink or whatever. So
hallelujah. Let's hold hands together and just pray. Hold elbows together and pray. Oh, I see. Listen, I prophesy to you, it will not come near you. In the name of...
But what I'm just trying to say in all this is that even churches has been closed down. The house of God has been closed down. So I believe there is a big change in the world right now, and a social change whereby the whole of humanity has been built to submit totally and completely to the end time plan. The end time plan does not mean God is not watching. Just like I said in the days of Noah, God will preserve his own children. God will preserve his own children. And this is when you will know who is who in the spiritual realms. Satan will fight. He will try. I've heard stories now in Italy, forcing people out of habitation. And when I say people, I mean the melanin people. There was a story, a blogger, I saw one of her blogs that a particular girl, she's an asylum seeker, in the south of Italy. She was pushed out of the camp. She was and accused of having the coronavirus. But you cannot accuse somebody of having a virus only when they are tested. If they are not tested, nobody is in the position. Even doctors have to test you to know if you have it or not. So this girl was pushed out of wherever they keep them, and and she was pushed out. So right now she has been forced into homelessness, now she has been forced into homelessness, without a job, without an income, without anywhere to go to. But let's logically look at the situation. If somebody truly has it according to them, I believe she should be kept somewhere that she will not spread the disease. But when they release her into the world, it's like she's like a time bomb who will not only afflict melanin like her, but also their own citizen. So what is actually happening here? Are they trying to force people into vulnerable position whereby they can be affected by this virus? Well, that's there for you guys to discuss. You can leave a comment if you have any reasonable, if you have any reasonable explanation for this kind of behavior. Now the girl, I tried to locate her somehow with the phone number, but she's in the south, I live in the north, and there's absolutely nothing I can do than to pray for this girl, because she's in a vulnerable position. And according to how the virus can get to people, you can see I'm always in my gloves, the virus can get to people through, you know, surfaces, body to body contact. And if they force her into that kind of vulnerability, is because they wanted to make, I mean, if you don't have, even if you have money, you can be in a position of stress at this point, because even hotels are shut down. So even if she has, even if somebody wants to even help her and say, okay, let's help her, you know, with her hotel or whatever to stay, it's not even possible, because she has been forced into a position whereby she can be easily taken out by the virus. Well, while I'm going to the post office now, the post office have a totally different way they are managing it now. One person goes in at a time, and we have a demarcation separating. You can see they have a demarcation separating everybody. So I will just go in and be back in a jiffy. Okay, I'm out of the post office now. Basically, as I was saying, the COVID-19 virus has been able to totally shut down an entire nation and nations in this situation, and even maybe globe, to shut down the globe. So what is happening right now, I'm not just looking at what the virus and things like that. Yes, we have to take care. I've already said something about how to take care of yourself so you don't contact it. Increase your immune system. I mean, increase, make sure to fortify your immune system. Increase your alkaline level, your pH value, and with that, you have enough resistance to fight any loose virus going around. That's one. Be extremely careful, stay in quarantine, come out only when you have to buy something. I come out only when I want to buy something, and also, you know, that gives me opportunity to also see what's happening in town. You can see I can't go out so much and come so many places because we are restricted, and we can be fined if we exaggerate on what we do. So I'm just going to the stores now, and I'm going back immediately. And in the meantime, you know, I try to, sorry, I've never passed this side before, so I'm trying to look at how to, okay. So, you know, anyway, as I was saying, you know, it has been able to force people, restrict people to be confined, to be isolated. And the only probably thing everybody has in common right now is just the internet. And I remember once, one of the scientists that's creating craziness in the world said there was only one problem they had in whatever they're preparing for the New World Order is the internet. Well, they have been planning something that will get the world to this level, in a crisis mood, fearful mood, confused, isolated, separated, churches shut down, places of religious shut down, and they finally, achieved their aim in this instance. But even though it seems everything is going according to satanic plan, but remember that only them that know their God will be strong and do exploits. So in this present situation, just like in the days of Noah, only them that know their God will be actually selected and preserved. It doesn't mean you don't have to take care of yourself because you'll be preserved by God. You will take care of yourself, but we are preserved by God, just like in the Noah's Ark. The boat of Noah, the God actually created it intentionally to make sure that his own children are preserved. Not saved, but preserved. Now, the epidemic started in China. It has become a pandemic. Epidemic is just one nation. Pandemic is several nations. Now, we have this issue, not on our hands, but in the hands of the Most High God. COVID-19 will force people back on their knees. Well, if you are the type that you are not being forced on your knees right now, you're taking a big mistake, because this is one of the end time signs. The COVID-19 and World War III, believe me, the COVID-19 will achieve more deaths than any World War III. World War III, they need bomb and they can run out of bomb. They can run out of all those things. But with the COVID-19, you don't need bomb. You don't need anything. You just need an host that begins to spread it. And it's spreading like wildfire. It started in China. He has taken over everyone there. And he's doing the same thing all over the world. And Europe is the second continent apart from Asia. Europe is the second continent that actually have been affected. And why? Europe actually has a significant meaning, apart from the Chinese, who can spread it better than any other tribe. But so anyway, as we begin to see everything unfold, only them that know their God will be strong and do exploits, and we are covered and we cannot be taken out of this monstrous situation created by Satan and also his children. So anyway, apart from the fact that it has restricted the whole world, and hopefully will force the whole world, the whole globe, back on their knees to beg for mercy so that they will be preserved also. So when you beg for mercy from God, there's always chances to be preserved with the Christians. And it doesn't mean because we are just Christians. This is the time we have to actually begin to work on ourselves. I'm working on hunger, because of the gang stalking program, the harassment of my properties, accusation of slander of my reputation, the slander campaign, and so many other things done to me by authorities, by individuals, by all these people. But I understand that the battle is not flesh and blood. It's against principalities and powers, rulers of the darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness in high places. So because of this very fact, no matter who Satan uses against an individual, it is not those people fighting, but the enemy behind them. The enemy behind them. Now, let me see. Okay. You can see basically there's no living soul. You can just find one or two people probably going to buy something themselves, but we live right now, everything is totally shut down. The globe is shut down. France is doing the national quarantine also, with a fine of anybody that abuse it. Italy was the first that took the drastic action. Spain is doing that. Greece. I mean, people are just following. Even America has joined in to self-quarantine. So, like my family member would say, when they call me, hello quarantina, basically when, Italy declared the self-quarantine. Actually, I'm in another region right now. I have my residence in another region, but I'm in another region. I was actually here when the quarantine happened. So basically, I'm stuck here until the quarantine is over. Well, while we're trying as much as possible to focus and go on our knees, of course, we have to understand one thing. While this is going on, please don't be blindsided by knowing that also organ harvesting is taking place big time. I mean big time. Organ harvesting is taking place right now. I want you not to be blinded. In Yoruba, my tribe in Nigeria, I'm originally from Nigeria. Those of you that follow my blog, you know that. The Yoruba tribe says that basically it means when you cry, don't be blinded by your tears. I hope I will say it well. Let me say it. Okay, I don't know it. Sorry. Tebansukun. Majeku ekun. Covering. Anyway, what I'm trying to say, you understand. So I've been away for a very long time, but I still speak Yoruba very well. So don't think I don't. I do speak Yoruba. Only that because I don't speak it regularly. Sometimes, the tonation and what to say, I'm not really very good with it again because I don't communicate with it regularly. But I do when I get the opportunity to speak with my family, though we speak in English, but I try to also throw that in. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying, organ harvesting is taking place big time. Then, in those days, they started introducing the fact that you have to sign your name that when anything happens to you, your organ can be harvested, even without the concept of your family or anybody, even you yourself. Once you're sick and you're on your situation is critical, they're allowed to take and you die, the doctors are allowed to take your organ. What I feel fishy about that is that, you see, organs are useful only when the person is still alive. When you are dead, your organ is also dead. So how is it possible a person in a sound mind and not conjured, not brainwashed, to believe another thing, and you don't actually reflect on what you're believing, that your organ can be donated? Fine, it looks like a good who are we? Did we create organ that we have to donate it? Who are we that we have to use our organ to save another person? For what reason? But why that is going on, so many people refused, including myself, so many people refuse such an act, because that way you are giving human being power to keep you alive or to take your life. Why have I said that? Okay, it's not a theory or any kind of speculation. This is just my own opinion and my analysis concerning situations. Now, there is organ harvesting. Now, we have a virus that is going haywire. I also explained the difference between virus and bacteria and how virus can be contained. Virus can actually be restricted from exaggerating or from spreading if the symptoms are fought drastically and forcefully. Now, with the coronavirus, it's something that can take someone out if it is not handled the way it's supposed to be handled. So everybody visually can be saved, but the doctors have the highest say. An Italian doctor from Milan gave an interview on, I believe, one of these news channels in Britain, and he publicly declared that now they have to choose who lives or who dies. He didn't use that word specifically, but that was what he was explaining. He has to, they as doctors have to choose who lives and who dies. Okay, that's a point I'm proving. Who lives, the doctors will choose who lives and who dies. Based on what? Or maybe on critical situations or whatever. And he even made mention that even in a normal situation, he said even in a normal situation, doctors are placed in that position to decide who lives and who dies in the hospital. So with this COVID-19 situation, the doctors decide who lives and who dies. So imagine you and I, we're being a melanin race, and you find yourself in an hospital sick with a racist doctor, or with a doctor with agenda, or with a doctor that is prejudiced, or with a doctor that thinks your life is worth nothing, and you go to the hospital, you can be cured, but you've already signed that your organ can be donated. And even in this present situation, even if you do not sign that your organ should be harvested or can be harvested, it doesn't matter any longer. This is a life or death attack on humanity. The virus actually can be stopped. Coronavirus is nothing close to hate, because, for example, the HIV virus attacks the immune system. That is a serious case because it goes straight to the immune system. And if it goes straight to the immune system to attack the immune system, what does that mean? It means that the first thing the virus is doing is to attack your form of defense, to attack the form of defense of an individual. But you still see doctors sustaining people for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and so on. But with the coronavirus, it's not attacking the immune system. It's just acting like a normal virus that needs a host, which is our body. And after afflicting us, it begins to feed on the protein in our body, which energizes it and gives it more power to multiply. Then it starts multiplying through sucking the day life out of your cells. So that is actually how it goes. Then how the doctor saves such human being is to attack all the symptoms the virus gives. So I don't think there's anything exaggerated in this. If I'm not a scientist, I studied information technology, I'm not a scientist, but if I were a scientist, what I will focus on is to fight the fever, fight the cold, the respiratory problem. Yeah, oxygen masks. You start multiplying or creating oxygen mask in mass production, so that while you're carrying the lung situation, the fever, the cough, and every other thing, then the viruses can be reduced, because you have a limit where even if there is a virus and there is a safe level, so when it can be refused and reduced, it gets to a safe level, and that safe level, basically the safe level, is not harmful any longer. But the situation is that I've seen it happen so many times, where you see doctors just pretending to do something and they're doing nothing. You know, when you are acting, you're just acting, you're going up and down, you are testing temperature, they're doing nothing. So the coronavirus is the same thing. Basically, what I believe may be happening to so many people right now, if you find yourself, I believe you just watch my video on Lady Abimbola Online. I have another video channel. Apart from Melanin and Albino Live that I discuss this kind of issue, I have another channel. It's called Lady Abimbola Online. It's a YouTube channel also, and I have a Twitter. I have it, I have a Patreon if you want to donate also on that channel. So basically, that channel is actually to help people. The channel is to help people stay the channel. Okay, I don't know, this is bad or something. Let me take another one. Just hang on. So anyway, I'm in the supermarket right now, and Let me just turn the video so you can see also. Okay, so now I'll remove this from my pocket so I don't drop it. Now we're taking strawberries to make juice. Okay, we're taking strawberries to make juice. Broccoli. Okay, pepperoni. So I will just take one of these pepperoni. We have take some garlic. Okay, so we're taking so much garlic because we need to make things for garlic also. So we have garlic and I need apples also. I need apples also. Okay, we take some apples also. So you have 3 different kinds of lemon. We have this one here. We have this type, which is 129. It's just 5 pieces inside, and this is I think 229. This is 229. So we'll take one of these. We take one of these. This is one that I know that will last the long. Okay, we'll take this one. Okay, I think that's all. That's all we need today. Let me see this. Okay, that's about all. That's about all we need. So anyway, as I was saying, I spoke about the fact that we are really in a situation whereby the organ harvesting is taking place, and so that means the doctors are giving the total power to decide who goes and who stays. So that's basically what they're making us to realize right now. And because of that, I believe that's the more reason we humans have to really, step up again we have to really step up against by not allowing this situation to control our decisions and so on. Okay. Anyway, so basically, we're supposed to eat healthy. That should be number one on everybody's list right now, and every other thing is in the second place. Every other thing. Every other thing should be in the second place. Our health should be the first thing, and our physical health should be the first thing, and also our spiritual health, which means every one of us should now fall on our knees and begin to focus on God Almighty. I'm looking for something. Let me see if I can find it alone without help. I hope you can hear me. If not, probably I have to do a voice over. Senza? Finito? So anyway, right now, I believe people are gradually stocking in. They're gradually stocking in to keep themselves in a situation whereby they don't go without food. So anyway, apart from what I said for the organ harvesting, we are actually forced to be divided, and because of this, most people, probably their support system has been totally cut off. Like you see, the supermarket is leader and it's still well stocked because Lidl is a German supermarket, and probably they have their own lorries that goes around and place things in shelf. But sometimes you just find like toothpaste is gone. Okay, we have still Colgate here. So
Da Lidl è tornato il grande concorso deluxe Una Pasqua carica di premi. Solo da Lidl
So,
dal 9 marzo al 12 aprile. Con una spesa di
have
25
just
euro
this
e
one.
due prodotti deluxe puoi vincere fantastici premi. E ad estrazione finale una fantastica mini full electric. Cosa aspetti? Partecipa su Lidl.it.
Gentile cliente, contribuisci anche tu.
So the situation, you have spies also. Spies with this coronavirus, you still find spies going around and stalking people. You can really know these ones, they're just sick, you know, they're sick in their head. I don't mean physical sickness, they're sick in their head, because even with all this virus making so many people uncomfortable, you still find people that they still dedicate their lives, to be harassing people. Well, anyway. So anyway, so basically this is all I'm going to do in the supermarket. I'm really distracted, because I have to keep my distance from other people. I have to watch what I'm taking, and I'm distracted. So anyway, this is the end. Thanks for listening to me, and I see you in the part 3.
Copia dell'accordo.